what I'm going to talk about today, the agenda really is to talk about venture capital, a venture capitalist perspective, what's happening in South Africa. Lauren mentioned the interesting things about blockchain, what's happening in Africa, what's disrupting South Africa, what's disrupting Africa, and the opportunities it creates for you, hopefully, many investors in the audience and many entrepreneurs in the audience. So both the demand side for entrepreneurs and the supply side for capital as well. So we're looking at both marrying that innovation with that capital. But let me start off with two stories. And I suppose these two stories are going to highlight the amount of disruption that's taking place in Africa and South Africa. That's Maynard. Now, Maynard is a guy that works for my family, and Maynard is Malawi. Now, that is Maynard's family in rural Malawi. Now, that's his wife, that's his family, that's his two kids, and his wife. Now, his wife is one of the 60% of the unbanked people that live in Africa. 60%, they live in sub-Saharan Africa. Of the 800 million people, roughly, or whatever that number is, 60% are unbanked. Now, the only way they can live is to rely on Maynard's salary to send their money back to Malawi. Now, what they did in the past, they used, if you all remember, the Western Union. They went into these big buildings, it took them 3 to 4 weeks, it was unsafe, and it cost them between 10 and 20% to remit money from South Africa to Malawi. One of the most expensive remittances in the world. I introduced Maynard to something called Mama Money. And the reason it's called Mama Money is a South African tech company coming out of Cape Town. And the reason the Mama is because in Africa, most people send the money to their wives, to the Mama. That's why it's called Mama Money. And all you have to do with Mama Money, you go into a pet store, or you go online, you transfer the money into an FNB or Standard Bank, whatever account. You then transfer, and show Maynard how to do this, just go into your Mama Money account, you put money in there, and you transfer money to a Malawian cell phone account. And instantaneously, for 5%, Maynard's wife had the money. What could she do with it? She could go to ATM, withdraw the money, she could make payments, she could go and get cash, whatever she wanted to do with it. So this has created a woman in Malawi who was completely unbanked and financially excluded to become part of the financial inclusion in Africa. This is a second story. This is a community in Lesotho. Now this hasn't happened yet, it's about to happen, but hopefully it's still going to happen in the future. And this person here is Tandi, and Tandi's a very, very clever, young, smart lady in Lesotho. And Tandi at the moment has to work through candlelight at night. There's no electricity, there's no power, there's nothing. She does all the studies at night through the candle. What has happened? What has changed with Tandi? There's a new company that's out there. We've invested in this company, and hopefully the CFO, Larry Temlock, is here today. I'm not sure if Larry is here, but oh, great, Larry is there. Sorry, I missed it. And Larry's going to talk more about it, but what the Sun Exchange has done, and what it does, it democratizes the ownership of solar energy right around the world. So any of you people, anyone of the 6-7 billion people around the planet, can decide to own solar energy using the blockchain, using the Ethereum blockchain, using smart contracts, and it's actually, you might say, well, what's it got to do with fintech? This is an investment vehicle. So you invest in the blockchain, invest in these solar energy plants, so soon, hopefully, Tandi will not, there will be a microgrid installed in the community and at the school, and Tandi will have electricity 24/7. So this solar plant, which will be funded by the crowd, funded by the billions of people around the world, who want to make a difference, who want to get a nice 10+% return, will be able to do that. Now these are two great examples of how technology, very disruptive technologies, are disintermediating and creating financial inclusion for financial means, and also the social impact they're making in Africa. Is software eating the world? So this is Mark and Beeson. You all, I'm sure, know Mark and Beeson. I just saw yesterday raising the biggest fund ever in the world. I think it's an $8 billion venture capital fund for technology. And the point we're finding, and my background is 28 years at Accenture. I left Accenture 5 years ago as the CEO. I've now been in venture capital for 5 years. And what we see in South Africa is basically replicating what we see around the world. That every business is becoming a digital business. Every business is becoming a software business. If you look at manufacturing, to insurance, to mining, to anything else out there, any verticals, they are becoming software businesses. And don't believe me what I'm saying there. Let me just read you, while I've got this piece of paper here, it's not my crib notes, but let me read to you what on the business day, on the 17th of January, which was roughly 2 weeks ago. Now the business day to me, I've been reading the business day for many years, is a business day. It tells you about the share price, and M&A, and who's doing what. But let me just give you a few articles what happened on the 17th. De Beers is investing in an asset tracking platform based on the blockchain technology. They're investing in a new platform that will provide a single immutable record that traces the diamond's individual journey through the value chain. The blockchain platform will provide a tamper-proof and permanent record of transactions while preserving the privacy of participants. De Beers is becoming a software company. De Beers understands, bad diamonds and crooked diamonds and theft diamonds, and they need to start tracking them to make sure the world who's buying diamonds knows what they're buying and what the source of that diamond is. The next article, I'm sure you all know about Michael Udine. Bank Zero. Who's heard about Bank Zero? Who's read about Bank Zero? Great, because I'm sure it's been in all over there's been so much PR about Bank Zero. But former FMBCO banks, new bank, Michael Udine backs Bank Zero set to become South Africa's first mutual bank. So it's a savings bank since 2012. Bank Zero is an app-driven bank and has been granted a provisional banking license. So those of you in the banking world, which I'm going to talk more about now, are suddenly going to have a propel on your doorstep in about 6, 7, 8 months' time. Also on the front page of their business day, European Commission, Second Payment Service Directive came into effect. This is something called PSD2. It is something that's been rolled out into Europe, and it forces the banks to open their customer data to fintech companies. The fintech companies don't have to scrape the data from the screen. They can go into the back end through an API and extract all the data that's from any banking institution in Europe. And this is going to be rolled out in South Africa as well. And Thomas, the CEO, I don't know where Thomas is, but Thomas, the CEO of RPay, is going to talk more about PSD2, what that means for his business going forward as well. The next article, IBM Immersed, the largest container shipping group, to create a trading platform to speed to trade and save billions of dollars. This blockchain-enabled solution will help manage and track tens of millions of shipping containers by digitizing the supply chain process from end to end. This is an industry that has not been disintermediated in decades. So this is one business day. And the last one I want to tell you about, which I found quite fascinating, it's another blockchain story. I mean, that's all we read about these days, and I hear Laurie's opinion on blockchain, I'll give you my opinion on blockchain. But how many of you heard of the Kodak moment? So let me tell you a quick story about Kodak. So Kodak, we all know about Kodak. We always used to use those systematic photographic films of Kodak and get our film made before digital photography came out. But in 1976, a guy called Stephen Sassoon invented the first digital camera. And who did he work for? He was an engineer at Kodak. He walked into the board. It was a 0.01 megapixel camera. It was about this big, weighing about 20 kilograms. But that's not the point. He walked into the board, and the board said, we're in the chemicals business, we're in the photo business, get out the boardroom, stop, playing games. In 1996, so this was in 1976. In 2000, let's get the date right. In 1996, it was a US dollar a $28 billion company. $28 billion company with 140,000 employees. A few years later, what happened to Kodak? It was liquidated. Why was it liquidated? Because they thought they were in the chemical and film business, they were actually in the memories business. And what happened was digital cameras came out, the iPhone came out, and it completely disintermediated the business. So the one thing we look at in the venture capital world is we always look for the next, we don't want to invest in the next Kodak business, but we make sure to see where the next Kodak business is, so our business can help them not become the next Kodak money. In fact, Kodak Coin, they're issuing what they call an ICO, which is not an IPO, it's an initial coin offering, and Larry will talk more about the initial coin offering later to raise capital for working capital in the fund. So I think the point is, my 33 years in business, I've never seen the amount of transformation taking place, digital transformation, which concurs with this exact comment that is on the slide over here. Every business is becoming a software business. And if it's not, you either disrupt or you become disrupted. And that's the exciting time for us as a venture capital company. We are investing in these technologies that are disrupting these businesses and partnering with these businesses so they don't have their own Kodak moment. Sorry, okay, so what is financial technology? I mean, financial technology is really about the design and the delivery of financial services to consumers. That's basically what fintech is. And fintech, how many of you in this room enjoy your banking experience? Okay. Except for one person, the laugh tells it all. We don't enjoy that banking experience because people don't have to go into bricks and mortar banks anymore. There's no need to go into a bricks and mortar bank. Because in all honesty, what's happening is these banks are being disintermediated. We're going through the biggest revolution in financial services that we've ever gone through. The days of going to bricks and mortar, if you look at Bank Zero, you look at Time Digital, which is owned by Commonwealth Bank, which is rolling out with Pick and Pay as their deposit institution and their cash withdrawal institution, are not going to be in existence anymore. So I think it's a very, very interesting time for banking in particular. Talk about fintech. There are going to be winners and there are going to be losers. And the winners are going to be the ones that adopt those fintech companies, that understand that banking of the past is not the banking of the same. The millennial generation that Lauren referred to as well is completely different to the generation that came before them. They consume financial services in a very different way. They don't want to consume financial services in a bank. They don't want to consume financial services by going through 15 different and reams of paper and documentation. They want to do it on that iPhone or on that Samsung. They want to do it on their mobile device. And that's where banking is going into the future. So what's happening in South African digital disruptive technologies? So if you look at this slide over here, you go to venture capital land in Silicon Valley or in Israel or in India or anywhere, you'll see exactly the same technologies. We are seeing better correct this, because our family's invested in this fund, not Kalon, but Kalon, as Gil rightly collected there. So I'm invested in Kalon, because these are the technologies that we are seeing that are disrupting South Africa and disrupting Africa. These are the same technologies, whether we see an American company, a European company, an Asian company, or a South African company, we're seeing the same amount of disruption. Yes, there might not be the same amount of capital to inject in these businesses, but we're seeing the same amount of technology. Let me just work through a lot of that I'm going to talk about. Let me talk about e-commerce for a second. E-commerce in South Africa roughly today is 1% or 1.1% of retail purchases are made on e-commerce. 1.1%. Just let me give you a comparison there. Brazil, 15%. The United States, about 10%. So you can just see we've got a long way to go. It's growing in South Africa, e-commerce and retail, at about 58% year on year. 58% year on year. In Africa, it's growing 28% year on year. Now, that's not directionally, maybe they're not quite right, maybe they're 35, maybe they're 30, but that's not the point. The point is, e-commerce is taking over. You read the business day yesterday, Cotton is starting an internet business, because their business is really struggling. You read the business day yesterday, H&M, which we all know for different reasons in the news at the moment, are closing down 170 stores around the world and they're moving to digital. Again, they're having their Kodak moment. I think they've caught their Kodak moment, and they're realizing the digital world is changing the world. If you look at the amount of mall space we have in South Africa and Africa, there's far too much mall space. The malls are getting emptier and emptier and emptier. And why? Because more and more people are buying, and not just groceries, they're even buying clothes. They're even buying clothes online. Woolies is doing 50% of its clothing sales on the internet credits. They just opened a clothing-only distribution warehouse just for clothing. Now, would you ever expect people coming to buy clothing online? Clothing is buying online. So e-commerce is being extremely disruptive. If I just look at the business, Thomas's business, RPay, which is an electronic funds transfer business, they started on one of the biggest e-commerce sites in South Africa and Africa. I'm not sure the name because there's an NDA sign. But they started on their platform in August of 2016. In November 2017, so roughly about 16 months later, they had done 90 times the revenue. This business that Thomas will talk about, his business, had done 90 times the revenue from month 1 to month 16. That's a 9,000% growth from month 1 to month 16, just by going through his electronic funds transfer platform. So e-commerce is eating the world. E-commerce is changing the world. I'm going to talk more when I talk about Africa, how you'll see why this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, an opportunity for us as venture capitalists, not just e-commerce, it could be anything on e-commerce, it could be selling insurance, it could be payments, mobile payments, it could be a number of other things that could be helping with that. You all know about crowdsourcing, robo-advisors. Robo-advisors are becoming, they're asset management solutions that are provided by bots, by chatbots, by bots that are in asset management solutions. If you look at OutSurance have just released something called OneVest. You've heard about OneVest. So OneVest really is OutSurance's robo-advisor. There's in excess of 50 million people around the world that fully rely on a robo-advisor rather than seeing a wealth advisor. So they've cut the middleman out and they just do it online. We're seeing a lot of these technologies, these robo-advisor technologies in South Africa. In fact, one of our board members, Nick over here, who's the CEO of Kalon Capital, bought and sold us a robo-advisor in the US and made a really good return in a very short period of time in a robo-advisor. So we see this sort of technologies coming out more and more and more. There's a lot of other technologies in here, and I'm going to actually talk about them, so I'm not going to talk about them on the slide. This is a slide from the Finnovation report, which looks at Africa, looks at the It looks at the different categories of ventures that have been started. As you can see there, payments and remittances, and you can understand why payments and remittances. That's about 40% of all the new ventures that have started in the fintech space in Africa have been in the payments and remittance space. And you can see there's a lot about lending and financing. Most people, the non-included people in Africa, never had access to lending. You need to have PIK and VK and a credit score, and you needed to go to TransUnion or wherever it is to get that credit score. There's a number of different ways now, and credit and lending has completely changed using social media, using your mobile accounts, and other ways that organizations can actually decide on your creditworthiness and actually lend to you. Back-end business investment, Investec, which is obviously the investment of the robo-advisors. You can see there blockchain, insurtech, personal finance, securities are a very big one. But all these areas is what we're looking at as a venture capital company. Those companies that are going to disrupt the future of South Africa and Africa. So what is the real disruptor? Technology in itself is not the real disruptor. The real disruptor is about customer centricity. The real disruptor is you guys to be the beneficiaries of making it easier for you to consume financial services every single day. That you take out that phone, that you can do click 3 buttons, and you've made a transaction. Whether it's you've loaned something, whether you've paid for something, and you can look at Thomas's business, which is called RPay. It's a couple of clicks and you've done your electronic funds transfer. So that is what's actually disrupting financial services, is the consumer interface. It's not about, it's the cool stuff that's in the front end that helps you consume financial services. And why does this happen now? Why is this only happening now that you're suddenly finding South African banks, and particularly African banks, are way behind on their customer centricity, way behind on the customer service? And you're finding what actually happened in 2008 in the financial crisis. Banks and insurance companies and the financial services in general were very good at adopting technology. They spent billions and billions of dollars in integrating that technology. I was part and parcel of that. I was involved in many of the banks in South Africa and around the world, putting in those technologies to make the banks innovative and be able to compete with their peers. But what happened after 2008, the innovation was the last thing on the bank's mind. They stopped innovating. They stopped innovating because they started worrying about regulations, they started worrying about reconciliation, they started worrying about all the fines they were getting, and innovation was relegated to the back room. Then suddenly the user experience of the Ubers and the Airbnbs and the Alibabas and the WeChats and everything else started coming to the fore. And that's what you as consumers started expecting, but the banks hadn't innovated. And that created a gap. That created a big gap. And what came in there? The fintech companies. The fintech companies saw that gap, that the banks weren't innovating anymore. It was an opportunity for the fintechs to come in and innovate right across the financial services sector. And when I talk financial services, I'm talking about every single sector here. But I'm just learning at the moment about financial services. So I'm bundling the bank. What's happening to the bank? I mean, we all say, and I speak to a lot of banks, and they say, oh, some say, oh, no, I'm not worried, it'll be fine, we're doing well, look at our P&L, look at our balance sheet, look at our share price, we're great. Good luck for you. And I call that a dead man walking. And I used to consult it, etc., I used to call it a dead man walking. Because they just weren't seeing the reality of what was really coming down the line. So what's unbundling the bank? First of all is the tech companies. If you look at who's coming to some of the biggest financial services companies and banks in the world, it's the Facebooks. Facebook has got 50, 60 regulatory licenses in the US to transact and remit and to make payments. They are a bank. Facebook is a bank. I believe my 12-year-old boy will open up his first bank account on Facebook. He won't open a Standard Bank or FNB, but on Facebook. If you look at Google offering education loans through their platform, you look at Amazon, you look at Alibaba, and I can go on and on and on. These are all becoming the future banks that if I was a bank today, I'd start worrying about. What else would I worry about? And the problem with the tech companies, in all honesty, like the Facebooks and that, they've got the trust of the users. They are engaging with the users every single day. And the banks are worried because they know they don't engage with those users every single day. But these other big tech companies are engaging and have the trust of the users, and that's why they'll open their bank accounts, or take out their next loan, or take out their next education loan, or do whatever financial service transaction through the tech companies. What else are the banks worried about? It's not just the tech companies, it's the thousands and thousands and thousands of fintech companies that have exploded all over the globe and are exploding in South Africa. From Cape Town, Joburg, Durban, Victoria. We're just seeing it all over the place. In fact, we've seen, in the last 2 years, we've seen over 500 companies, and probably 350, 400 of those have been fintech companies. But they're worried that they're being disintermediated by these fintech companies. And they need to do something about that to make sure they don't get disintermediated. So that's what's happening to the bank. It's being unbundled. So what's really happening? What's the banks worrying about? Because the fintech companies, you've got the back office, you've got the middle office, and the front office. You're not going to find a fintech company that's going to become a deposit-taking institution. That's going to be the person who opens up the vault and takes all the money to the vault. They're not interested in that. Why? Because there's no money in there, it's too asset-intensive. That's not what the fintechs are going to do. What the fintechs are going to do, and what they're doing, is the front office stuff. And what's the thing about the front office stuff? That's the high-profit stuff. The consumer-facing stuff. They want to do the consumer-facing stuff, and maybe some of the middle office stuff, but not the back office. So the bank of the future, my prediction of the bank of the future is it's going to become a utility. The bank's going to be utility, and they're going to be the rails for consumers to consume services from the bank. And if you really speak, I was speaking to one of the top banks the other day, and it's exactly, when I said that, they said that's exactly how they see it as well. They're going to become a utility service provider with all the good stuff and the front end, the consumer, and all the transaction processing capability will come through the tech companies. And that's again why it's so exciting for Kalon, because we're investing in these companies that are disrupting the banking and other industries. So I call this the fox in the hen house. Now, if you look at a lot of, I'm going to talk specifically about South African banks. I consulted for 28 years. I've been talking to a lot of banks in the last 5 years. And when I say banks, I'm talking insurance companies. I'm talking about a lot of the capital markets, a lot of the different players in the financial services industry. And you speak to some of these leaders in these businesses, and they don't see what disruption is actually doing to their financial services company. So their idea of having technology, they've got SAP, or they've got Oracle, they've got a big back office ERP system, and they say they're fine because that's what the technology is. And why I've used this slide, it's because it's akin, these CEOs or this C-suite that's of an older generation, it's akin to the fox disrupting the hen house. They're dangerous and they don't really know what's going on in their business. And something I learned from PhD miners from Singularity University and some of his colleagues is they talk about something we spoke about. They've got a joint initiative with Accenture at the moment, but they speak about innovating at the edge. If you don't, what the banks have tried, they said, yes, we're going to do innovation, but they're trying to do innovation at the core. They bring the innovation team into the core, and what happens is the antibodies come out, the immune system comes out, and it just kicks this innovation in the bum, and that's the end of the innovation. And the companies that have been successful start innovating at the edge of the organization, into an adjacent market. Some of the best companies in the world, you look at Google, you look at some statement companies like Fake Discovery, that's exactly what they do. They innovate at the edge, and they look at innovation going into adjacent markets. And that's how they innovate. But most South African companies are still trying to innovate at the core of their business. And as I said, the immune system comes out, and that's the end of the innovation. So it just doesn't work. But I think the positive side of what's happening here is the banks are realizing finally that they're not good at innovation. And what they'd rather do than innovate is build their own technology. They want to partner with the fintech companies, and they want to buy the fintech companies. Now that's fantastic news for us as a venture capital company, because we've created distribution and we can get to the millions of the customers, and we've created an exit for our companies that we can go sell our technology to the banks, to the insurance companies, to any company within South Africa. So it's a great opportunity that these institutions, the leadership are realizing innovation is not for them. They don't know how to innovate. They need to give innovation to the experts, buy the innovation in, or partner with the innovative companies. And when Luke talks about integrating me later, he'll talk about some of these partnerships with some of these big organizations.